Does the child decide on their own that they want to participate in the embrace? Yes, it's a hug. Yes, it's the holiday season. We're all feeling very festive. However, children have to learn self-determination, self-autonomy, and they have to realize that they're in control of their bodies. If you don't teach a child early on that they are in control of their bodies and that they are in control of their boundaries, then they're subject to later on not be able to set healthy boundaries. And if a child does not get into the habit of setting healthy boundaries, then what you have is a person who's open to issues like sexual harassment in the workplace and sexual assault, and not being able to properly tell people what's acceptable for them.
Offensive? That would be the understatement of the day. Scotty, I can't think of anything that's more reprehensible coming from the #1 seat in the country, of the highest possible office that you could hold, telling people who are frankly just as American as he is to go back to their country. I mean, if we need to send these women back to their country, can we send him back to Scotland or back to Russia where his family's from? Because frankly, these women, 3 of them were born in the United States. And so how dare you tell women that because they desire to see the best possible America that we can be, instead of the America that we're currently showing ourselves to be, instead of telling these women that their desire to see a better America is unacceptable, you tell them to go back to their country? I mean, this is reprehensible. Where do you get off saying these?
There's a moral responsibility on these companies that are making billions of dollars, $1.7 billion from women looking for love, to say, oh, you know what, it's too expensive for us to do a little bit to protect you. The President of the U.S. said to a person responsible for an investigation, you know what, I need you to direct this investigation to future incidents. Wait a minute, that's like the police coming into your house with cocaine-sniffing dogs, and the dog's going crazy, and then you telling the police, I need you to direct that investigation to my neighbor's house next door. Don't look right here. That's absolutely ridiculous.
The Federalist Papers created the presidential pardon for the purpose of restoring humanity and good policy. So someone like Rosa Parks, who may have been arrested for sitting on the bus, but because it was in opposition to the moral compass of America, they should be pardoned. Here's the issue. It's not a perjury trap when you're dealing with someone who practices the art of mendacity.
You know, here's the thing. You've got someone that's very endeared by the Republican Party, and they know that they've got to come out swinging. And so you kind of want to go to someone who knows where the phones are buried, who knows how to raise money, who knows how to really get the groundswell going. And here's the other thing. There is not just a red surge and a blue surge, but there's a pink surge happening. Right now we have 30 women who have run for Congress, and so in this country we realize that women are saying no to the status quo, and they're running for office. And because of the Brett Kavanaugh nomination and him becoming a Supreme Court justice, people are deciding that, you know what, I may not be so beholden to the Republican Party as I once was. So Hillary's hoping to take advantage of that, and you can tell that this is strategic based on what the timing? Midterms. After the midterms, she's sitting there with her abacus going, okay, now how many states have we taken back? Okay, and that abacus is clicking, trust me.
With what's going on, I think that, the people in New York may have it right. We need to start using the laws to make it too expensive to be racist, too expensive to do the fear-mongering and the hate-mongering that we're seeing become so commonplace, and people become so comfortable.
Unfortunately, it seems to be that way. In order to topple a giant, you have to have multiple people working together. And unfortunately, when one woman comes forward by herself, she's this lone woman, and her credibility is brought into question. She's attacked. So usually it's not enough for just one person to come forward. And so you have to have multiple stories telling the same thing so that people will say, oh, well, maybe there's some truth here, unfortunately.
You know what? Here's the truth of the matter. We're not here to say that Donald Trump is the reason for all of the hate that exists in America. We are here to say that he is inciting it, and he's a hate mongerer, using his words, saying things like, back in my day, they would get that guy. He's at his rally, Make America Great Again rally, saying, back in my day, we'd get that guy and we'd hurt them. And he's basically telling his supporters it's okay to use violence. More importantly,
on the next level, America's a relatively young country, right? So back when I was told how to train a dog, I was told that you put the dog's nose in its mistake so that it can smell it and realize that it shouldn't do it again. Right now, America has to take responsibility for these actions of these young domestic terrorists and literally put their nose into what's happening. Where did these people come from? You're not just dealing with a few strange people. You are actually having people who are hearing the dog whistles of the commander-in-chief. Back in the 60s and the 50s, it was the KKK recruiting hate. Now you have the actual commander-in-chief saying to people that it's okay to tell people to go back to where they came from and using hate language. So what we're talking about is 360 years of labor, of wages that were stolen from black people, and we need for the black people who are the descendants. We need for the descendants. See, here's what's even better about it, because when you get into it, it's not just slavery, it's Jim Crow, it's redlining, it's reverse redlining, it's the GI Bill that was not that black people were not allowed to participate in. So what we have is generations and years, hundreds of years of systematic discrimination and shutting out of economic access to black people, and that has to be repaid.
Anthony?
That's what reparations is. I think we've got a role here to prepare these girls to take over the world. And just like when they walk into the Toys R Us store, instead of giving them baby dolls and Barbies, let them have the opportunity to have astronaut sets and other things that can prepare them to have an incredible future.